for tonight's game. For the visiting Mystics, Christy Tolliver, Natasha Cloud in the backcourt. The rookie, Ariel Atkins, Elena Deladon, and Latoya Sanders. For the Sun, it's Williams and Jasmine Thomas in the backcourt, and a front court that is loaded up with Alyssa Thomas, Chiney Agumake, and Jonquel Jones. Elena Deladon, second game back from illness. She's talked about the frustration in dealing with the effects of Lyme's disease and all that comes with it, but said she feels good today. Said it's a game day, so I'm going to tell you I feel 100% no matter what. But was happy with the way her body felt today and just trying to get over the mental frustration after the start they got off to, not being able to play during that sputtering stretch. Meanwhile, for Connecticut, as Rebecca mentioned, 6 players averaging over 10 points a game. No other team in the WNBA has more than 3 players averaging more than 10 points per contest. Crowd will stand until the first bucket from Connecticut. Usually a vibrant and active atmosphere here at Mohegan Sun, as Thomas just had to bounce it behind her to keep the possession alive. Here's Jasmine Thomas. That's going to be a shot clock violation. No, it'll carry him out to Tolliver, and here comes Washington. Tolliver burrows around, kicks out. Deladon with Agumake on her. Deladon trying to find some space, couldn't quite bank it in.
Kurt Miller talked to his team this morning saying that was one of the things that hurt them against Washington last time. Granted, Deladon didn't play, but it was step-throughs by the post players. Deladon got a good look.
Dangerous pass in traffic, and Agumake could not handle.
And right now you see what Washington's doing defensively, swarming when the ball goes inside. Great job by Pringle to run the floor.
A 2-0 lead for Washington. Thomas can't flip it in. Here comes Tolliver. Tolliver finds some space and hits from 3.
Always a good sign for the Mystics when Christy Tolliver can come out hot. We saw last year in the playoffs against New York where she made 9 threes.
And eliminated New York after the outstanding regular season they'd had, especially the finish to it. But they were in that one-game playoff, as the first and second round are. And you get a player hot, that could change everything, as Chiney can't finish. And the rebound batted over to Latoya Sanders. Deladon, great hesitation to the rack for 2. And a strong start for Washington. A 7-0 lead here in the first. And Kurt Miller will take a timeout. The Mystics with a right hook to begin.
Great start by Washington. So important for their big guns to get going early, and they have done that. Christy Tolliver, we know she can make 3-point shots. Does it as well as anyone. And then Elena Deladon, when she is healthy, she can score on you. 6-5 doing this.
Connecticut, off to a 7-1 start, has shown such versatility. And who leads them in scoring? It's Jasmine Thomas who leads them for the season. And moments ago, she caught up with LaChina Robinson.
Jasmine, one of your team's strengths this year is your depth and balance. As the player that's most often responsible for making all of that go, how do you make things work for this team on the offensive end?
Just keeping everybody confident. You know, our offensive system is set up so everyone can be successful, and just making sure we buy into that and we stay together on the court.
Yesterday, you announced a personal initiative benefiting the Children's Defense Fund. Tell us what you're doing and why.
Every assist that I make this season, if everyone goes to pledgeit.org/Jasmine-Thomas, you can make a one-time donation or you can pledge to donate per assist for the whole season, and that will go directly to Children's Defense Fund.
And why did you choose the Children's Defense Fund?
I'm passionate about kids. I love kids, and anything I can do to make their lives better, I'm all for it.
Thank you, Jasmine.
Yep, thank you.
Well, an outstanding initiative that Jasmine Thomas is taking part in here, and another one of the women in this league who continues to be so active in their communities.
I'm almost surprised when somebody isn't active. Like, they're all trying to do their part, trying to give back. And I think part of it is because so many of these women go overseas to play in the wintertime, that then when they're back here, they appreciate what it being in the United States has to offer, what this league has to offer, and they want to give back to their communities.
A 7-0 start for Washington. Connecticut is 0 for 6 from the floor with 2 turnovers. Here's the rookie Atkins, missed it badly. Jones the rebound, nearly had it swiped. Pesky effort by Latoya Sanders on the offensive glass. Here's Agumake.
Swarming defense. Every time Connecticut gets a touch inside, the defense has swarmed and for the most part has finished the play. Connecticut leads the WNBA in points in the paint and second chance points. And so Washington has done a great job of not giving up either of those things early.
Move up. They also are a +80 off the bench for the season. +27 in fast break. They win all those battles. And here they draw a foul as Jones and Agumake were both fighting underneath. And the Sun a chance to finally dent the scoreboard as Latoya Sanders picks up her first personal.
I mean, this is a Connecticut team that is relentless on the offensive glass. They average 17 second chance points per game. The next closest team is at 12, 5 less points. They just attack the glass from every position on every possession. Say that fast.
I don't want to say it once. I'm leaving it to you. After starting 0 of 8 from the floor, Connecticut gets on the board from the line. Tolliver, guarded by Thomas, tries to pirouette out of it. Here's Deladon with 7 to shoot. Deladon off one leg, floats it in. Wanted to foul too.
We talk about it every year, and every time we see her play, Ryan, is the high release point on her shot, which at 6'5" enables her to get it off over almost every defender.
Jones, that's a 3, and it's good. Jonquel Jones, she can stroke it from there, shooting a very respectable 35% for a player of her size at 6'6". Tolliver's step back is off. Here comes Williams looking to push. Has it knocked from behind and stolen by Atkins. An athletic takeaway. Tolliver gets it to the block for Sanders. Sanders trying to find some space, and that is going to be a foul against Jones. Jones thought it should have been offensive.
It should have been offensive. Sanders lowered her shoulders. She created the contact. I thought Jones had legal guarding position. That's a tough call for Jonquel Jones. I mean, defensively, you just have to maintain good position. She got Jones leaning a little bit, but I think Sanders created the contact.
And that's the second foul for Jonquel Jones. So a costly one is she'll check out. Shakina Strickland will come in. Now, Strickland had been starting for Connecticut to begin this season, as Jones only started practicing late in training camp just before the start of the season. Was not in the best basketball shape, had been coming off the bench. And Strickland done a nice job this year. She offers a little more spacing to this starting unit.
Very good three-point shooter for the first 6 games of the season. The lineup on the floor was the starting lineup for the Connecticut Sun.
And Shakina Strickland had see the difference in her numbers between coming off the bench and as a starter. She had essentially a walk-off 4-point play against the Liberty recently.
That was her first game coming in off the bench.
Williams elevates and pushes it home.
She is so dynamic. One of the best athletes at the guard position in this league.
In her 3rd year out of South Florida, the 8th pick of the 2016 draft. Deladon working hard. Here comes the double. She wiggles around it for 2. Elena Deladon sharp early. She's 3 of 4 from the floor, 6 points.
You'll see a lot of Washington sets end with Deladon and Christy Tolliver on the same side of the floor. Causes difficulties for the defender because you have to respect Tolliver's 3-point shooting ability.
Williams hits.
She's a player that Kurt Miller says she can go off in 5-minute spurts and just come down and give you a bunch of points. And this could be the beginning of one of those spurts.
She plays with that kind of life. Deladon going baseline. Finds Ruffin Pratt. She can't hit. Rebound Hines Allen, and she puts it in. Aisha Hines Allen, another one of the rookies contributing for Washington.
And, you know, second-round pick. I don't know how many people expected her to be this productive this early.
Strickland in rhythm, can hit the three. Here comes Natasha Cloud. Good touch pass to the corner, and Tolliver buries the three. Excellent feed from Aisha Hines Allen right to Tolliver. And a timeout. Or what is the whistle? There'll be a little conference about it. Maybe a little blood. Little blood that will be addressed.
We talked about Tolliver and Deladon being on the same side of the floor. Well, it's hard to send a double team because you can't send it from Christy Tolliver. And Deladon, such good footwork when she is inside. And why can't you send a double team from Tolliver? Because of her ability to stroke the three.
The WNBA is celebrating equality and inclusion during LGBTQ Pride Month. Throughout June, the WNBA will feature 5 Pride Month games on ESPN2, and teams will offer special ticket packages and in-arena experiences for Pride-themed games. Get your tickets today at WNBA.com/tickets.
I just think there's something special about the WNBA and Pride Month. This is a league that has been so inclusive throughout much of its 20-plus year history, and love the fact that they celebrate the month like this.
Tolliver steals the inbound and puts it in. An outstanding start for Washington. They have a 19-9 lead against the 7-1 Sun. 8 points for Christy Tolliver. Thomas insisting her way. Can't finish. Here is Tolliver. Cloud with some giddy up. Deladon will heave and hit.
Second game back from illness, and she has not lost a thing. She is looking as sharp as ever to start this game.
9 points for Deladon, a 10-0 run that ends there with a bucket and a foul for Jasmine Thomas.
Elena Deladon has one of the purest shooting forms in women's basketball. Comes down again. Look at that high release point, so the contest is there, but able to finish. I just think, Ryan, would you be on the top of your announce game even if you had been out for a couple weeks due to illness? I don't know.
I don't think so. I think you, LaChina, and Holly would be carrying me.
You need some time to get back.
That's right. The hypochondriac I am. Are you kidding me? Knocked away. Here comes Thomas with Williams dashing ahead, catches it in stride. Could not quite gather herself to finish.
And the point guard gets the rebound. I mean, this is a team that sends every position to the offensive glass. This is not typical for Connecticut. They are normally a high field goal percentage shooting team, lead the WNBA in field goal percentage, struggling to get their shots to fall here early.
4 of 16 from the floor.
That would be considered struggling,
I'd say so, yeah. Monique Curry draws the whistle on Williams, who knew it. And Curry will shoot 2.
That's her first person. Second team foul. At the line for Washington, number 25, Monique Curry.
We saw some of the impressive things that Monique Curry was able to do a season ago for Phoenix. And to come back to Washington, where she played so many years early in her career, she's been a nice addition to this roster as well. So the Dallas game we did last year, Dallas-Washington, where Curry was just outstanding.
Yeah, going off, I think it was. She has that ability. Rachel Banham into the game for Connecticut, along with Alex Bentley. Shakina Strickland, Janaea Grumake, and Alyssa Thomas. Mean screen from Thomas. Here is Banham. 4th pick of 2016. Hands it off. Thomas hops inside. Can't caress it home. Rebound secured by Hines Allen, who has been very involved since checking into this game, the 2nd round pick. Tolliver off the mark.
Got to find her.
Yes, you do. Banham puts it in.
That's what she brings for the Connecticut Sun off the bench. She does not need to be warm to fire and hit.
Here's Hawkins off to an outstanding start this season. Tolliver with a hand in her face, and Alyssa Thomas gave a shrug afterwards like, what else can I do on defense there?
This could be one of those games for Christy Tolliver where it doesn't matter how close the defender is. When she is feeling it, she can be ridiculous from the perimeter.
11 points. She's hit 3 threes in this 1st quarter. Here is Bentley. Does she get the roll? No. And another rebound by Hines Allen. 2-for-1 opportunity for Washington. Curry on the drive, and no rim protection as Monique Curry scoops it in. It's a 13-point lead for Washington. And now a steal from Curry, and the Mystics can hold for 1 on what has been a sparkling 1st quarter. Tolliver got the whistle. She felt the contact from Banham and got the whistle. Will it be on the shot or not?
How could it not be?
That's what they're consulting about. And it will be on the shot. Now, if the contact happens before the upward shooting motion takes place, then the foul's on the floor.
It seemed to me that they made the call while she was in the upward shooting motion, and apparently they feel that way because she's at the free throw line.
That's right. Taking a look at the upcoming WNBA national TV schedule. On NBA TV Thursday, 11:30 a.m. Eastern, Indiana at Atlanta. Doubleheader on NBA TV Friday, and then ESPN2 Friday, June 22nd. Vegas hosting New York. For more on these games, please go to WNBA.com or visit the WNBA app.
It's a full slate there, right?
That looks like a pretty full slate. Bentley gets fouled. Washington had one to give. They spend it there. And now Natasha Cloud will check in and grab Christy Tolliver. Just a little extra rest. 14 points in the quarter for Tolliver. Washington already with their most points scored in a 1st quarter this season. Bentley gets it off. Can't hit. That's how the 1st quarter will end. Washington on a 19-6 run to end it. Christy Tolliver, Elena Delle Donne, both contributing in big ways. 23 points between them, and a big 1st quarter lead for Washington.
ESPN's coverage of the WNBA is brought to you by Verizon, the most awarded network ever. Taco Bell's new Wild Naked Chicken Chalupa. And Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Welcome back to Connecticut. I am with Washington Mystics head coach Mike Thibault. Coach, your team had 31 points in the 1st quarter, shooting it at 69% from the field. What's working on that end of the floor?
Well, I think our defense started it. We got it run outs early in the game. You know, LaToya Sanders blocked a couple shots. We got a couple loose balls on the floor, and that got some transition going. And you hit a couple like that, and then Christy Tolliver knocking down threes, and Elena getting good, simple plays for her where she could go to work in a quick one-on-one. Got us jump-started.
You mentioned your defense. You hold the #1 scoring team in the league to 15 points in the 1st quarter. What do you have to continue to do on that end?
Well, we got to, do what we did at the start and not let what happened the last couple of minutes with them get a couple open threes in transition. We didn't find people. We got to find people in transition, and we got to keep rebounding the ball and don't give them second shots.
Thank you, Coach.
You bet.
I think the biggest key is what you heard Coach Tebow mentioned at the end, not give them second shots. We've talked about how good Connecticut is at getting to the offensive glass. Well, they've had plenty of offensive rebounds to go get, and Washington hasn't given up points on that end.
Just 2 second chance points in that first quarter for Connecticut. To your point, Suns started the game 0 of 8 from the floor. Had as many turnovers as field goals in that first quarter, 5 apiece. Hawkins soars in, gets the whistle, and will shoot 2.
The superstars for this Washington team, Kristi Tolliver and Elena Delle Donne, so different in their style of game. 6'5" shooter and a point guard who can get it done from the perimeter, showing us a little defense tonight as well. When those two are hot, they can help their team have a 31-point quarter.
And they've talked about, and something Mike Tebow talked about with us before the game today, was those two in year 2 getting to play together. And how last year Mike Tebow felt, yeah, they were still leaders for us and obviously very productive players, but there was definitely a part of them that didn't want to step on toes yet. It hadn't been their team. Now it's all the way their team.
And not only that, but it was their first time playing with one another in terms of their chemistry. They have now a much better feel for one another on the offensive end of the floor.
How about the energy Maisha Hines-Allen has brought off the bench for Washington? She's going to check out here, but the second-round pick done such an outstanding job for the Mystics in these first half minutes.
Mike Tebow told us, I knew she was going to make the roster when we played against Minnesota in the preseason, and she did not back down and went toe-to-toe with the MVP, Sylvia Fowles. Showed tremendous toughness.
And the shot clock expires on Connecticut as they just have not been able to find a rhythm. Washington, meanwhile, in the midst of their second 10-0 run of the night.
I think that's been the biggest key, is Washington defensively keeping Connecticut from getting a rhythm. Haven't let them get out in transition. They've clogged up the inside, made things difficult, haven't given up second opportunities. We don't really think of Washington as a stringent defensive team, but they've done a really good job here so far.
Cloud using the screen from Delle Donne. Tried to hit her on the switch. Triple team comes. 3 to shoot. Curry gives it up. 1 to shoot. Cloud can't hit. Long rebound. Corralled by Curry. Another chance for the Mystics. Monique Curry forces it in, plus the foul.
Monique Curry is a veteran, and we've seen a couple times tonight already her savvy in knowing how to put the defense in a disadvantageous position and get them to foul her as she scores and gets to the line.
I love it when you giggle at yourself.
I should have just said tough.
Yeah, that would have been easy.
I don't like easy all the time. No easy button on that one, Ryan.
No. A 20-point lead for Washington, make it 21. Just about 2 minutes into the second quarter. Washington 5-4 on the season. Connecticut 7-1, a league best mark. As Jones able to hook that in on the reverse side.
She hooked Delle Donne so that she could then hook the ball through.
The double hook. Curry off. Rebound caroms towards the baseline. Saved by Washington. Ruffin Pratt banks it in high off the window. Another second chance opportunity that Washington took advantage of. That's going to count plus the foul as Agumake gets it to go. And it looked like Chiney might have separated with her left forearm, and perhaps is fortunate that wasn't an offensive foul.
You don't usually think of Chiney Agumake as overpowering the defense, but that's what she did here. Multiple defenders come, but first, yeah, lowered the shoulder a bit to get Sanders off of her.
Janae can't complete the three-point play. Rebound secured by Deladon.
Our rim mics seem a little sensitive tonight. Like, if you miss badly, there's a big flood we're hearing.
They're going to let you know.
Oh, yeah. We're going to let everybody know.
Cloud spinning, leaning, hitting. A 21-point hole Connecticut trying to get out of, and Jonquel Jones fouled there. How does Connecticut start to nibble away at this deficit?
Well, they got to get stops on the defensive end. They're so good when they can use their speed and get out in transition. Well, you can't do that when you're continuously taking the ball out of the net. They've forced Washington into some tough shots, and Washington's been able to make them. You got to withstand that and try to get some stops on that end.
Washington shooting it at 64% from the floor. Connecticut 30% as Jones bangs that in. Deladon gets the step, finishes, and the foul. Ogwumike trying to say the foul was on the floor. But the basket is good and a free throw coming.
Deladon, nice job, change of pace. Yeah, right there. Ogwumike is trying to foul her early on, but I don't think they called it until it led to the continuation.
Deladon now with 12 points. It's perfect
Look at that form.
Now, Elena Deladon has the best career free throw percentage in the WNBA, 93.8%. Bentley rims out on a three. Rebound caroms to Washington. Cloud veering. Deladon gives it back. Deladon gets swatted but fouled.
One of the things I love about Deladon's driving game is that she doesn't get by you because she's quicker than you, because she has blazing speed. It's the little thing. She gives a pump fake, gets Jones off balance, and then is able to go by.
And that's the third foul on Jonquel Jones. As Deladon gets the roll on the free throw.
So right now, Kurt Miller bringing Laney in. That's for defensive. That's for the defensive side. That's what she does. Is she can give you a physical presence, but he's clearly more concerned about getting some stops on the defensive end right now, so that they can get going the other way.
24-point Washington lead. Thomas hits the jumper. Tolliver had it slapped off of her out of bounds. It'll be Connecticut basketball. When we come back, we will take a closer look at the 2018 rookie class. Their presence has certainly been felt early in this season. That's up next from Connecticut. What an outstanding start for the 2018 WNBA rookie class. Asia Wilson averaging 22 points. The second pick, Kelsey Mitchell, 19. Diamond DeShields, nearly 4.
Backcourt for the Liberty.
Two very talented young players who will do battle again next Friday, 10 Eastern on ESPN2. It's been an impressive rookie class. We always talk about how the talent is getting better and better in this league, and we're seeing not just that manifest, but these players ready to contribute right away.
And you saw, you haven't had that many rookies contributing like that since what, the early 2000s? That's because this is a veteran league. It is very difficult to break in and make a difference, and this rookie class has been able to do that.
For a little more on that, let's check in with LaChina Robinson.
Well, one thing that's been unique with this rookie class is the situations they've come into. Ariel Atkins thrusted into an important position because of illness and injury. You know, Asia Wilson comes to a brand new team in a brand new city and has to really be the cornerstone. Kia Nurse stepping in where Sugar Rogers and Epiphany Prince were out for various reasons. So because of some things that were happening on the team, that opened up minutes. But the common theme that I'm seeing across the board with these rookies is fearlessness. And when we talked to Ariel Atkins today, she said, Tina Thompson said, one piece of advice you cannot forget entering the WNBA is don't be timid. And none of these rookies are timid.
That's so true.
Tina Thompson, of course, the associate head coach for Texas for the past few years, while Ariel Atkins was there, now the head coach at the University of Virginia. Hey, Ryan, when these two teams, when Washington and Connecticut met on June 3rd, Connecticut won 88-64. Washington scored 64 points. They have 52 already in this half.
Yeah. They shot 36% that game, had just 11 assists, season lows across the board in that June 3rd meeting.
They were coming off a rough road trip that had difficult travel.
And Kurt Miller even told us, he said, hey, that wasn't the real Washington team we played on June 3rd. This will be tonight. Certainly has looked like it. Elena Delle Donne has helped guide her team to a 25-point lead. 18 points for Delle Donne on 7 of 8 shooting, and she gets the whistle there as she was being harassed in the backcourt. Alyssa Thomas called for the personal.
She gets bumped. She kind of pauses and looks at the official, doesn't get the call. Gets bumped again, pauses and looks at the official, and is like, I'm going to go for it one more time. And on the third one, she gets the call.
You want to go ahead and call it for me? Okay. Now, and it gives us an opportunity with Delle Donne at the line to listen to her explaining her free throw technique. Take a listen.
Free throws is so mental, so I think that's the biggest thing is finding confidence in whatever it is that you say to yourself on the line, something that's going to make you confident and know that that shot's going in. So when I get up to the line, I say it's going in my head. And simplicity, that's the other thing that's really important for me. So most people have a routine. I make sure my routine is as simple as possible. Nothing can go wrong. So you see some people step up to the line, they're spinning it, throwing it between their legs. Well, if that ball hits your hand in a weird way, you're thinking about it. And that shouldn't cross your mind when you're shooting your shot. So for me, simplicity is huge.
I love that explanation as Tolliver buries the bomb from 3.
That explanation, along with video of her taking free throws, should be watched by every youth basketball coach and player trying to learn how to do a free throw routine.
And everyone should watch Kristi Tolliver and learn how to hit a bomb.
Welcome to our WNBA studios. Cassidy Hubbard alongside Lisa Leslie. We've got a lopsided game here. What stood out to you so far about this first half?
Well, this is what happens when you're Connecticut and you're the #1 team with the best record. You're leading the league in offense. Guess what? The target is on your back. And what's happening right now? Washington has come in, and they're basically kicking butt. They are taking away the inside game, and they're forcing Connecticut to try to beat them from the outside.
Yeah, Kristi Tolliver, Elena Delle Donne doing well. More on that in the WNBA halftime report presented by State Farm coming up. But first, back out to Ryan, Rebecca, and LaChina.
Thank you, Cassidy and Lisa. We look forward to that. 20 points apiece from Delle Donne and Tolliver on incredibly efficient shooting in this first half. 7 of 8 for Delle Donne, 6 of 8 for Tolliver, including 5 of 6 from 3. And you called it early, Rebecca, that it might just be one of those nights for Kristi Tolliver where she's hitting shots where you think she's guarded, but she's not.
Everyone thinks she's guarded because she is. It just doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. I mean, you wouldn't think that at her size that she would be able to do that. 5'7".
Yeah.
But with the fade she gets on her shot and when she's feeling it, man, woof.
You saw how much those two players for Washington have outscored Connecticut in this first half. Connecticut's an outstanding offensive team, too. But they've been shut down shooting it at just 34% from the floor.
You heard Lisa Leslie talking about Washington taking away the inside game, and Connecticut, normally a very good three-point shooting team, leads the WNBA in three-point percentage, but that has not been the case. 2 of 11 so far in this game.
Williams, that spun around and off, but then the putback is good by Laney.
2 minutes in the quarter.
Let's learn about what Connecticut is trying to do to get out of this hole, with China with a little more on the latest huddle from the Sun.
Yeah, that last time out, Kurt Miller really just looked at his team and said, we're not being disciplined in what we do. And he was mainly referencing their switching or not switching on the defensive end. He said, right now, we're very into ourselves. We're not talking. We're not communicating. We are not playing our game. He also challenged them to play better defense in terms of player tendencies with Elena Deladon and Christy Tolliver. So we will see if they crack down on that here in the next few minutes.
Well, a bucket and a turnover is a good way for them to start. Just the 4th turnover for Washington in this first half. Kurt Miller, the coach of the year a season ago. As Connecticut made the playoffs for the first time since 2012, and that is going the other way.
Just nice disciplined defense by Atkins.
Next Thursday, June 21st at 7 Eastern on ESPN, we'll have the 2018 NBA Draft presented by State Farm from Barclays Center in Brooklyn. With DeAndre Ayton, Marvin Bagley, the third, Jaren Jackson Jr., Luka Doncic. Who's going to be the first pick? How about Trae Young? Where's he going to land? You can watch every pick as they are announced from both rounds on ESPN and the ESPN app. As we step aside a moment, 1:10 to go in this first half.
Welcome back to beautiful Uncasville, where the Mystics have taken control of this game. 6'5" can shoot, 6'5" can dribble, 6'5" can score. We've seen it over and over. And of course, Christy Tolliver, she can make deep bombs over the extended arm of the D.
Highest scoring half of the season for Washington, and that's a big reason why. 22 for Deladon, 20 for Tolliver.
6 for 7, is that good combined shooting from three-point line?
Yeah, very efficient. Very efficient. As a team, Washington shooting 67% in this first half. Final minute of it. And that is squeezed in on the drive. Atkins, the rookie, able to finish in traffic. 29-point Washington lead. Williams trying to navigate through traffic. Here comes Thomas. 5 to shoot, 2 for 1 opportunity for Connecticut. And Hawkins just stonewalled her on the block. It'll stay with Connecticut, 3 to shoot. The defense from Washington, you used the word before, it has been swarming all night. Clock ran too early. You're gonna have to reset that. Take it back out of bounds. Kurt Miller's team looking for answers.
Will get him out of the lane and clean the whole game up and make it easier for you to officiate. One, just one. Don't get scared.
I think he feels like Washington's staying in the lane too long. Should have a defensive 3-second or 2 called on them.
Maybe. Ogwumike gets blocked. Here comes Tolliver. She'll go for the home run pass. Hawkins gathers and can't finish. 1 second differential game in shot clock, and the Sun will slow it down. Make sure it's a good one. Corner 3 for Williams is good. Courtney Williams now with 12 points, lone member of the Sun in double figures. Time for Cloud, 1 second left. She lays it in at the horn. A fitting ending to a tremendous first half for Washington. A 65-point opening half for the Mystics, and they have a 28-point lead after 2 quarters of play. 20 points for Christy Tolliver, 22 for Elena Deladon, 13 of them in the second quarter. They will review to make sure that shot was off in time, but
it was.
Yeah, to the naked eye, I don't think there was any doubt.
Is there a clothed eye?
I don't know. Maybe if you like wear a patch.
Our eyes.
If you're a pirate.
Naked eye says, oh, I guess this would be the replayed eye. Oh, that's way off.
Yeah.
Well, she can do that too to get the space.
22 for Deladon, 20 for Tolliver. Incredibly efficient. 42 combined points. Connecticut had 37 as a team. Meanwhile, Connecticut had the same amount of field goals as a team that those two had, but on 21 more shots. 14 of 38, Connecticut was as a team, whereas Deladon and Tolliver 14 of 17.
And it's not like you come in and they're not the two players that are at the top of the scouting report.
Right.
I mean, Connecticut knows what those two players can do and has game planned around them. It just hasn't been effective. She missed.
Yeah, that was rare. Thomas barrels in, and that's an offensive foul, as Atkins took a big blow there and is grabbing at her hand.
Alyssa Thomas with a very quiet first half. Only 2 field goal attempts, 0 points. I mean, she is a big, strong presence on the floor. And right here, I mean, she just lowers a shoulder and goes right through Atkins.
And Atkins is banged up. She's on the bench getting attended to medically. She grabs it, looks like that left wrist. And if you're Mike Tebow or anyone associated with the Mystics, you certainly hope that's nothing serious that Atkins is dealing with. Is the rookie has played a big role on this Washington team already, averaging over 12 points a game.
In a Washington team that's already had a season's worth of injuries or illnesses.
Yeah.
Games missed due to both so far in this early part of the season.
Mike Tebow was saying it's so strange to look up and down your injury report and see illness, illness, illness. But that's what they've dealt with Elena Deladon. Also, they've dealt with it in other areas as well. Latoya Sanders dealing with anemia. It's knocked out of bounds. It'll stay here. Crowd thought it should have been Connecticut basketball. 2 to shoot for Washington.
Two.
Ooh, hostile act review?
I think that may be what's going on.
This is our first hostile act review of the season together.
Plus an explanation. So the ruling is a loose ball foul on Elena Deladon. So when they review for a hostile act, they can come away with just a common foul. That's what ends up happening here. There's nothing that was hostile that was done, but they end up saying it's a loose ball foul on Elena Deladon, so Connecticut has possession.
I was 100% last year. I'm starting out 0 for 1 on the season.
You ain't gonna be 100% this year. Williams hits the 3. Courtney Williams now with 15 points. Lone Sun scorer in double figures. She's 3 of 4 from deep. Ruffin Pratt has it knocked out of bounds. It'll stay with Washington. Still 11 to shoot. Now Connecticut can score in a hurry.
Yes. Team that had 37 points in the 4th quarter earlier this season against a very good Los Angeles team who plays tough defense.
Tolliver looking to shake free, shovels it over to Sanders, who hits.
The shake and shovel.
All the kids are doing it these days. You have 4 children. I'm sure you've seen them do it.
Yeah, I need them to teach me.
Tolliver will pop online, just a little too strong.
We needed a shake and shovel.
That was the move. Williams' jumper is good. Courtney Williams now with 17 points. Has shown a lot of good bounce in this game. Deladon, short on a 3, follows it up, was basically left alone, and then Jones got her from behind. but can't scoop up the loose ball. Sanders does, and a foul is called against Williams on the loose ball. Let's take a look at the upcoming WNBA national TV schedule. Rebecca would call it a full slate of games. NBA TV Thursday, 11:30 a.m. Eastern. Indiana at Atlanta, a doubleheader on NBA TV Friday. Then ESPN2 Friday, June 22nd, 10 Eastern. It'll be New York at Las Vegas. Asia Wilson in action. For more on these games, go to WNBA.com or visit the WNBA app.
I would call it a full slate, and I have.
Nice.
The only good thing about the NBA Finals being a sweep is that all those TV windows are now given to the WNBA games.
For the full slate.
For the full slate, yeah.
Very nice.
It could have just been a half slate, quarter slate.
Instead, it's full.
It is.
Basketball continues all summer. Third foul on Sanders as she went over the back. Thomas looking to accelerate around Sanders and shovels it in.
She's got great quickness and acceleration when she turns the corner.
She now has 11, second player for Connecticut in double figures. Remember, they have 6 players who average more than 10 points a game. No other team in the league has more than 3 that average more than 10. And a hounding possession from Connecticut defensively here. 6 to shoot for Washington.
Jasmine Thomas is quick, and when she turns the corner, especially when the defense switches, she recognizes immediately that she has a big on her, is going to have the quickness advantage. Goodbye. Right to the rim. It's not fun to be that big, that switches onto the guard, and then you know you're in trouble.
Della Don had to force it up, and Connecticut controls. Here comes Williams. Calling for the screen from Jones. She'll pop. No. Jones fights. Agumake wins and finishes. And Connecticut trying to build a little momentum here.
You've noticed in the second half, they've been extending their defensive pressure, knowing that they're going to have to create some stops and maybe some turnovers.
And in this case, it results in a foul. 9-2 Connecticut run.
Connecticut, we talked about how good they can be on the offensive glass, and sometimes it's a team effort. Jones can't corral it herself. You tip it, keep it alive, and see if your teammate can make something of it.
Behind the back, and Sanders travel. 6 turnover for Washington, who's done a pretty good job protecting the basketball. Meanwhile, Atkins still on the bench after taking that shot to the left wrist from Alyssa Thomas. Let's learn more about the Atkins injury from LaChina.
So Ariel Atkins was being examined by the Washington Mystics athletic trainer, and it looked like it's the left wrist or left hand area. And of course, she is left-handed, so that is of major concern, but we will update once we learn more.
That's going to be an offensive foul. Thank you, LaChina. As the contact was taken by Jasmine Thomas, and Della Don is hit with her second personal. As Connecticut trying to carve deeper into this deficit. Washington is led by as many as 30. It's 19 right now. Agumake was alone on the block, didn't know it. Does find Williams for the 3, but she can't hit. There's Rough and Pratt motoring and denied inside by Jones. Williams weaving. The pull-up. She is not shot.
Connecticut showing more toughness, more activity defensively so far in this third quarter than we saw in the first half, and it's giving them results on that end.
Deladon from 16 puts it in.
I'll show you your toughness and activity and raise you a pretty jumper from the elbow.
First bucket of the second half for Deladon. She has 24 for the game. Bentley goes back to get it. Around the screen from Agumake, and a foul called against Washington. 4:38 to go in the third. Connecticut trying to mount a little bit of a comeback as we step aside. Well, it is with incredible sadness tonight that we learn of the passing of Ann Donovan, who died due to heart failure suddenly tonight. Her family making the announcement. A legendary player in this league, as well as a former coach. And Rebecca, somebody I know who you've expressed has meant a lot to the WNBA and the women's basketball community.
Yeah, women's basketball, without question. People of my generation grew up kind of idolizing Ann Donovan, being aware of her, especially as one of the early, really big players who could dominate in the post. And then as we've gone through to see her become a successful coach in the WNBA and an Olympic gold medal winning coach. And I had a chance to cover her when she was the head coach here with the Connecticut Sun. And this is really devastating news.
Incredibly sad news. And LaChina, I know for you, she was also someone you looked up to.
Yeah, I mean, a pioneer of the game. Women's basketball would not be where it is without her contributions. And, you know, as Rebecca alluded to, she really changed how big players saw the game, post players, but also how we carried ourselves off the court. And she was always there to offer a word of encouragement. And I spent a lot of time with her when she was the head coach at Seton Hall. And I was covering the Big East. So we got to sit down a lot and talk about the game of basketball, her passion for it, and just someone who will be missed tremendously.
Want to bring in Lisa Leslie, who's in studio tonight with Cassidy Hubbarth, because Lisa is a fellow luminary of this game. I'm sure, you know, this news, as we just heard you talking about, Cassidy, not easy for you to take either.
Well, it's definitely tough. And then I was just thinking, we had a time, you know, off camera, just thinking about Ann Donovan, the fact that she won 2 Olympic gold medals as a player, you know, a gold medal as my coach. But I was thinking about soft things. Ann was 6'8", but she was a very soft-spoken woman who was a believer, who was always encouraging, really helped me out on the post. But something that we really shared was we both were coached by Marianne Stanley, who's actually the assistant coach on the Washington bench right now. Marianne Stanley was my coach at USC, but she also coached Ann Donovan to a championship at Old Dominion. And so Coach Stanley would always tell me about Ann Donovan and being in the post and how tough she was. She was always a leader, and not necessarily a vocal leader, but she led by, you know, her actions and being in that post and being physical. So it's just, I have really great memories of Ann Donovan, and it's just odd to even talk about it being a memory now. But she was a great woman who had a great impact on my life individually as a player and as a person.
Well, Lisa, we appreciate you sharing those thoughts, and our prayers and thoughts, of course, are with the Donovan family and all of her friends and everybody. Amen. Connecticut starting to do some of that work on the offensive glass that they were unable to in the first half, and Thomas puts it in, plus the foul.
3 things that shows what Connecticut can do. Get to the offensive glass, make the extra pass to the player cutting to the basket, finishing in the paint and getting to the line. These are the things that Connecticut has done well all season that led them to the 7-1 record, and it's what they're going to need to get more of to continue to cut into this lead.
They've trailed by as many as 30, a chance to cut it to 16 here, as Monique Curry will check back in for Washington. Thomas, who has switched her free throw shooting from her left hand to her right hand, unable to hit. She had seen her free throw percentage increase each of her first 5 seasons, decided to give it a go, switching hands, a la Tristan Thompson in the NBA. Here comes Thomas, blasting ahead. Thomas goes through 2, can't hook it in. Agumake, the athletic offensive rebound. Here is Williams. She missed the initial, got the follow. And Mike Tebow is upset because he thought Agumike had stepped out of bounds when she collected the offensive rebound. Here is Cloud with an answer.
Did you see the screen set by Elena Delle Donne to get Cloud that open jumper? Oof, brutal.
Ends a 14-2 Connecticut run. Catch, fire, in and out. Agumike puts it in, plus the foul. And Connecticut really starting to do work on the offensive glass.
Chiney Agumike is relentless in her pursuit of the offensive boards, and it wasn't bearing a lot of fruit in the first half, Ryan, but Connecticut getting to the offensive glass here in the second.
Agumike now with 8 points, 8 rebounds. Meanwhile, Courtney Williams has 23 points already on 10 of 18 shooting, as Agumike completes the three-point play, and it's a 14-point game. Delle Donne is 24, just 2 here in the third. Tolliver hasn't scored yet in the third. Hawkins will pop, short. And a loose ball foul is called against Connecticut as Strickland was clutching Monique Curry. And that is going to put Connecticut over the limit and put Washington on the line. Make it the next one, Will. That's the 4th team foul.
Clutching still a foul in the WNBA?
I don't know if it's official verbiage.
I think it's in the rule book. No clutching.
No clutching.
Can be clutched, but no clutching.
Curry can't hit. No clutching there. Bentley finds the cutter. Agumike blasts in. And it's going to be a foul against Washington. Chiney Agumike will shoot a pair. Deanna Hawkins whistled for the personal.
Just so relentless, Connecticut, here in the second half. And it started on the defensive end, starting with picking up in full court pressure, and now it's translated offensively in their attack of the glass. I mean, look at the difference in Connecticut and Washington in this third quarter. A completely different story from the first 2 quarters.
And you look at Chiney Agumike, who missed all of last year due to injury with an Achilles, missed all of 2015 due to microfracture. She looks bouncy, spry, energetic. She really hit the ground running coming back to this team.
And 2 very serious injuries that she's coming back from.
Washington 3 of 14 from the floor in this quarter. They have 3 turnovers. Delle Donne and Thomas got hooked, and they both go down. Thomas is holding her right shoulder, which has been a problem in the past for her. Part of the, or make it the left shoulder that had been a problem in the past for her. Now holding the right shoulder as she's down on the ground and writhing in pain.
The previous play is under review.
Now, once again, they can review for a hostile act. And it is indeed a hostile act review. Eric Bruton, Tiara Cruz, and Carlina Tobin are our officials tonight. Because that is not what you want to see. Thomas in a lot of pain.
Oh, it looks like it happens long before she went down. I thought it was an injury that was a result of landing, but that's why she went down.
Looked like Delle Donne maybe had just put the left hand. It looked like it happened even before Delle Donne's left hand got there.
Yeah. But because of the history of injuries to her left shoulder, she knows what it feels like to have something not be quite right.
Rebecca, that's so strange. It doesn't look like anything happens, right? Maybe a little push against the back of Delle Donne with the right arm, but there's no obvious, oh, that's when it happened.
And Alyssa Thomas is one of the stronger, more physical players in this league. gives out and absorbs as much contact as anyone, yeah, you can't really see what happened there in terms of the injury. I don't think there's any kind of a foul there at all for either player. I mean, Alyssa Thomas is vital to Connecticut. She's not had one of her typical games tonight, but she's a facilitator for them. She distributes the basketball from the forward spot. She scores inside for you.
An all-star last year.
Yeah. She's second in the WNBA in rebounds. She's second on the team in scoring and rebounding. Or first in rebounding, I'm sorry, second in scoring.
We are going to get the explanation right now. So they reviewed for a hostile act, but instead the call is a common foul on Thomas because she was not in a legal guarding position when she went down there.
Well, I can understand if you're on the ground and someone trips over you because laying on the ground's not legal guarding position, but here, that's not the case. Deladon does not fall because Thomas is on the ground. I don't understand at all why there's a foul there.
And 2 potential points won't be nearly as costly as if Thomas misses any kind of time. Hopefully it looked a lot worse than it was as far as her reaction in the paint. As you mentioned, she is an essential contributor to this Connecticut team, which enters this game 7-1, top record in the WNBA. Williams has another 25 points for Courtney Williams.
What did Kurt Miller call her earlier today? One of the elite pull-up jump shooters in the world.
And now Eric Bruton's having a little conversation with Chinea Agwumike and Tiana Hawkins as they got tied up. So things getting a little chippy.
More than a little at this point, I think.
Things getting chippy.
There you go.
It's like you just press the autocorrect button, you know?
There you go.
This is a long discussion for a seemingly benign moment. But now both coaches want an explanation, and reasonably so. A 12-point lead for Washington. They've led by as many as 30. Deladon has 26 on the game. Tolliver yet to score in the third. She had 20 in the first half. Here comes Cloud, has to force it up and off. Agwumike the rebound. Her 10th of the night. She has brought incredible life and bounce to Connecticut this third quarter. An activity on the glass. Williams from 3. She got it. Courtney Williams with 28 points, a new career high. And the lead is down to single digits. Connecticut has outscored Washington 39-8 in this third. Deladon surrounded. Cloud gets it back to her. 2 to shoot. Air ball. Shot clock turned off. Bentley feeds. The 3 is good. Morgan Tuck hits in transition, and it's a 6-point game. Tolliver, no. And that's how the third quarter will end. Connecticut with a monster third quarter.
A team that can score in bunches, very good from the three-point line. They lead the WNBA in three-point field goal percentage. First the guard, Courtney Williams, and then Morgan Tuck cutting this lead to 6.
Welcome back to Connecticut. Connecticut. I am with Sun head coach Curt Miller. Coach, your team really pulled back in that third quarter, and it's a 6-point game. Scratching and clawing. What needs to continue to happen in this comeback?
Well, it started at the defensive end, and we just grinded. We stayed in plays better. Obviously, Tolliver and Deladon are elite, and they had great first half, but we just needed to stay in plays. It wasn't always their screening, their plays, but their personal tendencies. The players that go left got left. The players that go right got right, and they just took it to us. And it challenged them at halftime. You see the resiliency. We used a lot of energy in that comeback. We'll see what we have left.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks.
Well, a 30-8 third quarter for Connecticut held Washington to its lowest point total of the season for a quarter. And now a steal. Here comes Bentley. Strickland finds the deep catch. Agumake. And Deladon was anticipating the right hand.
Anticipating the left shoulder turn. I think Chiney would have had an open look if she had gone the other way.
And a timeout taken by Washington. A quick timeout here in this fourth quarter by Mike Thibault. 9:09 to go in the final quarter. Connecticut has turned a 30-point deficit into a 6-point game.
Cassidy Hubbarth with your studio update. Aces, Liberty, and the Aces on a back-to-back having another good night. Hamby, 14 off the bench. They lead 72-50 in the fourth. Ryan, Rebecca, LaChina, back to you.
All right, Cassidy, here in Connecticut, the Sun trying to pull off a big-time comeback.
The completely different Connecticut Sun team in the third quarter than we saw in the first half, getting back to their identity. Tough on the defensive end, getting to the offensive glass, points in the paint, accuracy from the three-point line. All that has translated into making this a game. It looked like Washington was going to run away with it. Up 30 and now only up 6.
Connecticut trying to make this the largest comeback in franchise history. Hines Allen will get called for the offensive foul. Now the prior largest comeback, or as the record stands right now, 25 points in WNBA history. It's been done 3 times. Connecticut and Curt Miller trying to set a new league record tonight.
And you heard him in his interview with LaChina saying, you know, we expended a lot of energy in that third quarter. Are we going to have enough? Well, that's where the depth of their bench can really play a role. They had some people come in. You saw Morgan Tuck in that replay hitting a big 3. They may just have the energy to get it done.
Agumake able to force it in. It's a 4-point game. Curry, and that is going the other way. Another charge call as Connecticut takes the contact, and we take a listen in to Curt Miller, wired for 7.
Keep them off the fouling. Stop. Stay strong without fouling. Just grind. Just grind. Little by little. Hey, little by little. Hey, everybody's got to keep moving. Keep moving.
You heard him say 2 by 2 by 2. He talked to us about that this morning against Strickland.
By 3.
It's the 3.
It's a 1-point game.
So much of Washington's success comes from hitting shots behind the three-point line, and Connecticut has been able to take that away in the third and now fourth quarters.
Washington is 0 for 9 now from 3 in the second half. Curry gets another chance and hits a big one there. First 3 of the second half for the Mystics. And the lead back to 4. Strickland dishes. And a foul underneath as Hines Allen took down Chiney Agumake. And are we going to have another hostile act review?
I think we should.
Oh, technical foul is called.
Yeah, Eric Bruton was right there. I don't think he needs to review anything. He saw it with what, Ryan? his naked eye.
That's right.
Yeah, that's a foul and a technical.
So Hines Allen, who is tough and aggressive, got locked up with Chiney Agwumike. There's the technical made by Bentley. And now Connecticut keeps possession due to the common foul call. This game's been physical, it's been chippy.
It's been real and it's been spectacular.
All of those things, Mrs. Seinfeld. Williams pulls up and hits. A 30-point night for Courtney Williams. She keeps adding to a new career high. 1-point game. 7:15 left in the fourth. Ruffin Pratt muscles and is denied. Connecticut can take the lead. Williams gathers, waits, finishes. The Sun have come all the way back. Once down 30, they have a 1-point lead.
Courtney Williams is a player who can take over a game because of her athleticism and her ability to elevate and score over defenders. You see her over 6'5" Elena Delle Donne. She has bursts of speed that can get her by the defenders. And then here, just gathering herself and finishing inside. She's been spectacular.
32 for Williams. Delle Donne looking to answer. Cannot. Rebound into the arms of Strickland. Here comes Bentley. Got a little tricky with the lead. Strickland able to collect, got fouled, and will shoot a pair.
Ryan, you can't say enough about what Morgan Tuck has done on the defensive end. Since she's been inserted into this game, she has really limited Elena Delle Donne's ability to get decent looks. Delle Donne was able to go off in the first half. Tuck has been there in the second. And then the backline defense has been spectacular.
And Tuck's a player who only usually plays about 9 minutes a game for Connecticut. Her contributions have been huge. Hey, our next WNBA matchup on ESPN2, Friday, June 22nd at 10 Eastern, as the New York Liberty take on the Las Vegas Aces. Also streaming live on the ESPN app. Strickland hits both. The lead is 3 for Connecticut. Now can Washington gather themselves, find the magic they had in the first half when they built a 30-point lead. Delle Donne alone. She got it from 3. 29 for Elena Delle Donne.
Miscommunication and breakdown defensively for Connecticut.
Set up for a fun finish here. Agwumike comes with a screen. Bentley, good ball fake, dips inside. Can't hit the jumper. Good battle on the glass. Bentley another chance, just forced it up. Not the best shot selection. And Washington the rebound. Tolliver skates around Delle Donne, finds her. Delle Donne's leaner is good. And Washington is back in front. 31 for Elena Delle Donne. Williams harassed by Ruffin Pratt. Agwumike on the run. Able to finish in traffic on the gorgeous delivery from Williams.
Beautiful pass led to that shot.
Chiney Agwumike now with 15 points to go with her 11 boards. Tolliver way off. And Williams the rebound. Here comes Williams. Dashing up the floor, her pull-up, around and off. Now, Mike Thibault has only liked to play Delle Donne for 4 or 5 straight minutes coming off this illness. You wonder, will fatigue be a role? Not there! Elena Delle Donne showing plenty of energy as she finishes plus the foul.
The last few possessions, after talking about the defensive job Connecticut was doing on Elena Delle Donne, she's shown off all of her offensive skills. We saw her driving to the basket. We've seen her make a three. The pull-up game. I mean, dips the shoulder. Again, it's not just because of her speed. She gets you off balance with the pump fake goes by. We don't usually see a lot of emotion from Elena Delle Donne. We're seeing it tonight.
Delle Donne with 34 points. She has the last 8 for Washington. And the lead is 3 for the Mystics. Jasmine Thomas back in for Connecticut. So is Jonquel Jones. Jones receives and gets the whistle. Jones went swiftly up into the contact, and LaToya Sanders called for the foul.
So much of this game for Connecticut, particularly the second half, offensively taken over by Courtney Williams. In the last few possessions, we've seen her make really nice passes to her bigs off of screen and roll action.
Now the foul was called against Washington.
Player
Sanders
player tendencies.
took the contact and appeared to take some contact up high. So they are taking a look at this last play. You see the elbow from Jonquel Jones.
I mean, that's a shot. That's the motion of your shot. I don't see that in any way as being a foul on Jonquel Jones. What was interesting to me, Ryan, is when both teams went to their respective benches, Elena Delle Donne was down on her knees, just looking exhausted. Her teammates were standing around her. She was on one knee, and just wonder what she's going to have left these last 4:21.
Yeah, as we said, Mike Thibault likes to play her in just 4 to 5 minute stints off of her illness. Meanwhile, this will just be 2 shots for Jonquel Jones in Connecticut. So Delle Donne, with the reviews, has gotten some built-in breathers. But
what again were they looking for?
They were looking for, I believe, a hostile act from Jones, or any sort of upgrade on the foul, and instead it's just what it was called on the floor.
Is this a 3 hostile act review game? Or we're at 4? We're at 3? Our official stat guy, Stevie LeBeau, is also keeping track of that.
Feels like 9, but Jones hits both free throws. Though in fairness to the officials, there have been a lot of them because there's been a lot of plays worthy of them.
True.
Every single one of them is a play that should be reviewed.
Maybe not the last one.
Still some contact up high. Delle Donne forced it up. Strickland, I don't know where she was trying to go with that dribble, but it was nowhere good. Stolen by Washington. Tolliver can't hit. Rebound. Stays with Washington. Tolliver has missed her last 5 from 3. Curry, the push off, and isn't getting away with that.
Monique Curry trying to make something happen, and the one thing officials will see is when you throw that elbow out, and especially, yeah, there's a little extra push there, and Strickland makes sure that the officials call it.
Tolliver has not scored, meanwhile, in this second half after 20 in the first half. Williams penetrating, flipping, can't hit. Delle Donne secures the rebound. 3:25 to go in the 4th. Here comes Cloud, full head of steam. She'll back out. 1 point Washington lead. Delle Donne off one leg, banks it in. 36 for Elena Delle Donne. Connecticut had taken the lead after trailing by 30. They now trail by 3. Jones misfires, and another rebound to Delle Donne. The largest comeback in WNBA history is 25 points. If Connecticut wins this game, they'll have surpassed that. Tolliver off the mark. She just has not gotten anything to drop in this second half. And Kurt Miller's going to take a timeout and regather his troops.
After Connecticut took the lead, Washington regained it on the back of their 6'5" do-it-all player, Elena Deladon. Here's one of the things she does when she does it all.
ESPN's coverage of the WNBA is brought to you by Verizon, the most awarded network ever, and Taco Bell's new Wild Naked Chicken Chalupa.
Terrific game in Connecticut. Elena Deladon, highest scoring total for any player in the WNBA this season. Courtney Williams has a career-high 32. Sun overcame a 30-point deficit to take a lead here in the fourth, but Elena Deladon has led Washington back to a 3-point cushion. Here comes Williams. The pull-up is good. .34 for Williams, and it's a 1-point game. Connecticut has outscored Washington 48-21 in the second half. As Janae Wumake gets hit with a personal.
Talked about it all game, and Courtney Williams' ability to elevate and hit the little mid-range pull-up here. She drives by 2, shoots over 2. She has shown everything that she can do offensively so far in this game.
Timeout taken by Washington. They have a 1-point lead. 36 points tonight from Elena Deladon. She's done a little bit of everything.
Yeah, I mean, she has been efficient from the 3-point line. So good on the pick and pop, pick and roll. She uses head fakes to get by her defenders. She's finished inside with contact, showing emotion. Every time Washington's needed a bucket or a defensive board, it seems like she's made the play.
Outstanding play there by Courtney Williams, elevating to knock that inbound away. And nearly into our broadcast table. Your Starbucks almost took a tumble.
Almost. It's water now.
Six to shoot. Deladon makes her move, fades away, can't hit. Good defense from Agumake. Inside of 2 minutes remaining. Thomas uses the screen. Bellies back around it. Floats it to Washington. And here comes Tolliver. Yet to score in this second half. But we know she loves these moments. Curry lost it out of bounds, and they will take a look. Final 2 minutes so they can see who this went out on. Call on the floors at last hit Connecticut. And you can see the Sun didn't protest the ruling that it was off of them. Nonetheless, they'll take a quick look and make sure that it should be Washington ball.
But at the same time, it looked like 2 Sun players could have corralled the basketball and let it go, thinking that it went off of Washington.
A quandary. Indeed.
Indeed.
Let's take a look.
That one was not obvious by the naked eye. On that look, it looks like it went off of Curry's left hand, doesn't it?
I think it might have hit Strickland after Curry.
Okay.
But remember, it has to be conclusive. The call on in order to be Connecticut ball, call on the floor.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's off Connecticut. And you can see there, it looks like it hits Curry and then redirects from Strickland.
Almost looked like it hit Strickland in the head.
Might have. So it will remain Washington ball as the call's confirmed. 1:29 to go in this fourth quarter. The Mystics with a 1-point lead. You know, LaChina Robinson, our outstanding sideline reporter, made a great point to us just in the break that Mike Tebow has players who have been dealing with illness, so his timeouts are important in that regard as well. Trying to keep his players with the energy they need down the stretch. Deladon is one of them. And Deladon has it taken away by Agumake. Here comes Janae. The Euro step. She's blocked, but follows it up for 2. Connecticut back in front. 17 points, 13 rebounds now for Agumake. Tolliver trying to set herself up. 7 to shoot. Final minute. A long one is good. Christy Tolliver buries it and puts Washington back in front. Back and forth, big buckets down the stretch of this game.
And it started on the defensive end for Ogwumike, getting the pick, going the other way. Elena Deladon blocks the shot, but Ogwumike able to corral and get it. And then you know Christy Tolliver not only can hit big shots, deep range, with someone on her, backs up. What are you going to do about that? There's nothing you can do about that. Washington with a 2-point lead.
Mike Tebow had his team only shooting threes from NBA range all during the offseason, wanting them to acclimate to that distance. Well, Christy Tolliver, she's been doing that her whole career.
Oh, she's acclimated.
Washington a 2-point lead. Williams will try. Off the mark, Jonquel Jones and a whistle. It'll stay right here. Foul against Washington on the loose ball. They had one to give. So side out of bounds for Connecticut, as Washington will now be over the limit. Each team with 2 timeouts remaining. Williams has had a career night, 34 points. And a foul against Washington off the ball. It'll go against LaToya Sanders.
Chiney Ogwumike continues to battle inside here. She rolls to the basket. Bit of contact, big reaction.
And Chiney Ogwumike hits the first.
Something to keep in mind down the stretch. Connecticut, the worst free throw shooting team in the WNBA. Ogwumike, though, 70% on the season.
And she has a move. Tie game, timeout Washington. 42.5 seconds remaining. This game tied at 89.
This is hot. This side. This is Elena. This is Panda. This is Mo. This is LaToya. Okay? I want you to start like you're setting a double drag. I want you to come to it and cross over and go to the rim. You got Panda here. All right? Toya, follow her behind there. Let's go. No, we're taking a full court. Together. 1, 2, 3, together.
You heard Mike Tebow refer to Panda. That is Christy Tolliver's nickname. She's going to be out spacing the floor, drawing the defense out. He's looking for a double drag screen. That's 2 players going over to screen on the ball handler. If the defense hugs Tolliver, that might give the ball handler an open lane to the basket.
89 all, 42.5 seconds remaining. Connecticut trailed by 30 in this game. 2-for-1 opportunity for Washington. They throw it away. It ends up with Curry. She can't flip it in, but gets the whistle. And Monique Curry will shoot a pair, as Jonquel Jones very animated in her reaction to the call.
So you saw the double drag screen set up. Cloud went away from it on the right side, but the ball ends up in Curry's hands.
Looked like she got her on the elbow.
Yeah.
So Curry, 75% on the season. It's the first. Remember, Connecticut, 2 timeouts remaining. Washington with 1. Connecticut has a foul to give. Washington does not. Curry got them both. Washington now 20 of 22 as a team from the line in this game. A 2-point lead for Washington as we take a listen in to Kurt Miller and Connecticut's huddle.
All right. Luke Courtney. Sinead's there again. JJ. All right. You're going to sprint up. All right. And not screen. Slip. All right. Leave this gap for Courtney. Leave this gap. All right. Sinead, look to go in.
Where am I starting? Just start here and just go down. Oh, okay.
You're just looping. You're dribbling.
7-3, 1, 2, 3.
Well, Courtney Williams has been the most effective perimeter player in this game for Connecticut. We've seen the damage Chiney Ogwumike has done inside. What do they do here?
They're trying to get the ball to Courtney Williams and let her create, because she has the ability to get by her defender, and if she does and a secondary defender comes, she can deliver to one of her open teammates. But I think they're looking for her to get the ball back and make a play.
About a 6-second difference, game and shot clock. Here is Williams. Williams finds some space, can't hit, got a good look. Curry the rebound. Connecticut's going to have to foul. They do. Now they had one to give.
Second foul, number 5, Jasmine Thomas.
Looked like Williams might have had some space when she pulled up.
We know she's going to get the basketball. Oh, the defenders ran into one another for Washington. Yes, it looked like she could have turned the corner and gotten a bit closer.
Now, oh yes, they're now over the limit. That's right, after the Jonquel Jones foul underneath. So 2 free throws coming for Monique Curry, who just hit 2 big ones and has another. Connecticut still with 1 timeout remaining. Washington has a timeout as well. Both teams over the limit. Curry got them all. Timeout, Connecticut. That is their final timeout. Big free throws from Curry as she hits 4 straight.
We're gonna have a play call, but next time after we foul, we've got to be in cold, we've got to be in basic, we've got to be moving at them. All right, moving at them. Sit.
Now Connecticut down 4. They would love to draw up what they had 2 games ago in their game winner against the New York Liberty, with Shekinna Strickland in the corner for the game-winning 3, and it was a 4-point play.
Jasmine Thomas looked like she was open, could have gotten the layup. Instead, she found her teammate Shekinna Strickland. Strickland had not played the entire 4th quarter. Until that play, she went in, made that big shot.
Strick.
Let's listen into Kurt Miller.
There and over. Jazz there. All right, get it in. I want you guys to run up. Hey, put JJ on the bottom. You both are running up into a double screen. We'll take the 2. We'll kick. Hey, Chiney's going to roll. JJ's going to pop and look for that. Hey, but don't be afraid to take the 2.
Let's go. Put it in.
Huh? Yeah.
Either way, Kurt Miller knows it's a 2-possession game, drawing up a play to see if they can get an open look at a 3, but you heard him say, don't be afraid to take the 2, because there's going to have to be another possession. And you heard him, as soon as the team came into the huddle, I'm going to draw something up now, but when we get the ball back a second time offensively, we're going to have to look to run into things, because that was his last time out.
Connecticut 8 for 23 from 3 in this game, just under 35%. Williams will inbound. She is 4 of 9 from deep in this game. Has a career-high 34 points. Here is Thomas around the Ogwumike screen. Thomas circles, looking for help, floats it up and in, and it's a 2-point game. And now Washington will spend its final timeout.
You saw Shekinna Strickland in the right corner. Jasmine Thomas driving right. Looked very much like the New York play, except that Strickland was guarded. Thomas could have come up, looking, can't find it, so not afraid to take the 2.
Washington, an outstanding free throw shooting team. 81% as a team. 3rd best in the league. Only Phoenix and Seattle are better.
Full face guard, switch things, jump out. All right, you got a foul. Now, we don't have any timeouts, so we're in hold.
Wants anybody except for Elena Deladon to catch the basketball. As good as Washington is as a team,
don't be afraid to look flip.
they don't want Deladon catching the ball.
We'll take any kind of basket, and then we got
just under 94% in her career from the free throw line. Best in the WNBA.
No timeouts. Together, 1, 2.
And Deladon has been special tonight.
I mean, she really has. She's made big plays. When her team needed it, there was a stretch, she was quiet. Connecticut took the lead, and then Deladon made shot after shot, got defensive boards as well. She's fought through fatigue and came up big.
2-point lead for Washington. They advance the basketball, are out of timeouts. Inbound goes to Tolliver, another good free throw shooter, and she is fouled by Avumike. Christy Tolliver, 96% on the season.
So that's pretty good, right?
Yeah, solid. She's 3 for 3 so far tonight.
She's missed one free throw all season long.
Tolliver hits the first. Tolliver hadn't scored in the second half before her bomb 3 with Washington down 1. That gave the Mystics an 89-87 lead. Second free throw is good. It's a 4-point Washington lead. Connecticut has to hurry. Thomas uses the screen. Time wasting. Williams has to put it up. She does. Off the mark with 9/10 of a second remaining, and that is going to do it. Washington survives the comeback effort from Connecticut. 95-91 the final. The Sun, once down 30, took multiple fourth-quarter leads, but Elena Delle Donne and the Mystics able to fend off the Sun and hand Connecticut just their second loss of the season.
We saw a brilliant performance in the first half. Elena Delle Donne, Christy Tolliver, and then the second half, the back and forth between Elena Delle Donne and Courtney Williams. What an exciting basketball game, especially in the second half.
Elena Delle Donne gathering her team for some final words. After a gritty victory, you lose